I actually think that probably within the next 6 or 7 months that every agent that's out here in Santa Clarita would potentially want to be a member of the newest brokerage that just broke ground out here, Sync, SYNC. And I've looked at their tech stack and how they have their data compiler on the other end. And it's really, it's something that we normally don't have access to. And in fact, we really don't know how to use it. So you take their training and you take the data that they're able to get you, and basically you go into their system and they have this just fantastic data source that's pulling just innumerable records based on time in a neighborhood, ownership type. You just nail it down, and then you go forward with taking that data and then using that in the other systems that they provide. This is all part of their system, all part of their AI overlay. So what you're going to see is you're going to see a robo dialer, you're going to see voicemail drops, you're going to be able to call up these people specifically, you're going to be able to send them an SMS campaign, email campaigns, you're going to have access to all their data. You're going to basically be able to take a neighborhood that you happen to take a listing in and get multiple listings out of it, because now you are the data source expert. You have all of the information for the people that are in that neighborhood. And it's just really, this is where agents used to go to a title officer and beg and plead and then have to pay on the side to try to get information and pay on the side. I mean, for that data, they have to pay for the list, so you reimburse them in paying for the list. But it's just never a seamless process. This, you go into you sit at your computer or on your phone, you go into the CRM, and in your CRM, you have all the connection points. You start looking at particular neighborhoods. Then you look at a neighborhood and you say, okay, I want to look for the owners that have owned a residence in the neighborhood for the past 5 years at least. So let's say 5 to 7 years. So you track that down. There's 50 results. So then you go in there, you say, but you know what? Maybe today I'm going to look for properties that are non-owner occupied, maybe people that are renting properties because of changing in California, thinking about maybe jumping out of the market. So then you get all their data and information, and then you start, making those connections. You start working on each one of them, but you have the full data set. So it's no longer having to go out and trying to figure it out. It's all there. You can build lists, you can put together the information, you can put together a specific campaign and send them this information. It's absolutely remarkable. And it's all contained in the system, so you can nurture them, follow up with them, answer any questions they have, give them that real niche data that they're not going to get by looking at the online systems out there, just because the online systems are very proprietary. They have their own algorithm, their own programs in place to be able to establish value and data. You can actually send them the true value and data on their particular property, so there is no guessing. So when another agent from another company, let's say, is going out and trying to dial them up or sell them at a higher list price that isn't going to work, you could give them the data stream that shows, okay, this is where the properties are currently selling for. If somebody's coming and telling you that your property is going to sell for $80,000 more, unless it's a Goldilocks property or something substantially different than the rest to be able to justify that, you can show them all those data points. So that's that connection process that Andres with Sync Brokerage has built into the inner system that they have. You're not going to ever have to worry about doing any other kind of farming. It's all contained in there. Then with AI systems, AI overlays, follow-up campaigns, touch campaigns, it's just so granular. If you want probates, if you want divorces, if you want whatever you want, as a real estate agent, this is how you stack. This is how you build. You have the proper tech stack that Andres has put together. You have the Sync Brokerage brand. You take that tech stack, you go in there and you look through all the data. You grab the data that you need for whichever campaign you're going to start with. And then that's what you go after. Within a month or two, you're going to have listings. You're going to have people seeing you as the consummate real estate expert in their neighborhood and area. I really foresee all of Santa Clarita Valley becoming Sync Brokerage. If they know what I know, if they saw what I saw, and if they look at the system and see what I see, it just makes sense. It's all there. Now, this isn't for the agent that doesn't want to work. This isn't for the agent that's lazy, somebody that just wants leads brought to them, or somebody that, is willing to, go and spend $3,000 or $4,000 a month on leads with a meta campaign. And hey, that works fantastically. In fact, you scale that. That's the best thing to do on that end of it. But let's just say somebody that's not in that world, somebody that isn't scaling out their business for a mega team, and you want to get beginnings and start on a process where you're going to be able to start your own farm. You're going to be able to see the proper people that you need to start connecting with, and then you build these systems on top of that. This is it. I don't know. Is there a monopoly thing in real estate? If one brokerage controls an entire market, I don't think so. But I'll tell you what, it's going there. Andres brought it. I'm so glad to have met him. And Sync Brokerage is really amazing. If you want to see more, Sync, sync.connorwithhonor.com, sync.connorwithhonor.com. That's CONNOR. I just put together a simple landing page that I scripted and vibe coded into existence. You'll see some of the reasons why I switched over. Then 15 minutes. Give me 15 minutes. Let me explain to you why I went from where I was. I've been doing this since 98. So don't let my youthful look fool you. But since that time, I was a cop. I've done a lot of other things. I've had just a fantastic life so far, and I hope the next 300 years are going to be even better. But here's the problem. Maybe you don't know what you want next. Maybe you're kind of stuck. Maybe you're kind of feeling, well, I don't know really where I'm going to go next in this business. And of course, the biggest question I get and the biggest question people get is, where am I going to get leads? Well, of course you can pay for them. That's fine. But this system, the systems that he put together with this tech stack, it's just overwhelmingly beautiful. It's everything we want. I remember getting a real estate paying for expired leads. And yes, you can search the MLS for those, but there was a company, REAP 007, I think it was, or whatever. But if you're familiar in real estate, been around at least as long as I have, you'll know that company. And you were able to get those expireds, canceled, all sorts of different types of listings, and the information then follow up with them. It's all self-contained. And then you can run it by demographic. You can run it by employment. You can run it by everything. Let's say you're a cop, right? I was a cop for a long time. Let's say you want to hunt those heroes of the world, those law enforcement, fire department, those type of professionals, because you built a special campaign for them. You're giving them some kind of a special deal, if you will, with regard to representing them, because they are heroes. They're saving the world. You got nurses, you got people like that, educational professionals. And then pretty soon you're going to have a lot of people that are going to start to be displaced, that are going to need a friendly face in the world of real estate. And then you structure your campaign around all of that. You have to have the idea, but you get the idea. The data is what's important. You see these AI companies, it's all data. The data is what drives it. You got Musk with his connections with buying Twitter. That was not a mistake. That wasn't something that he just did because he thought it was a good idea. He wanted to be popular. There's data there. Google, there's data there. OpenAI, they're trying to get the data there. But Microsoft's been around since 1975. They have the data. So OpenAI has the data. For a real estate agent, the most important thing besides being self-motivated, and you can go pay for coaches and all that other stuff. But really, if you need to be told to get out there and work and earn a living, maybe it's not the business for you. But I will tell you this: if you look at this tech stack, look at what Andres has built at Sync Brokerage, it's going to you're done, finished. It was the fastest 3-second decision I've ever made in my life. And most of those 3-second decisions are the worst case scenario decisions. This was the best 3-second decision I've ever made, and I will not regret it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if I can help answer any questions, and you can just jump over to sync, sync.connorwithhonor.com. I built and vibe coded that site to answer some questions. Be well. We'll see you in the next one.